Hello, Virgo, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of October 5th through the 11th. And during that time, we do have a full moon that comes in on the 7th. And sometimes you can feel that energy a day or two before that actually happens, and actually after as well. Then we move into the waning gibbous phase. But the full moon, of course, is a time of heightened emotions. We can be prone to be overwhelmed and maybe feeling a little anxious, sometimes snappy or irritable. You might have interruptions in your sleep patterns. But then after that full energy of all of that light, we move into that waning gibbous energy, which is then a good time for self-reflection and rebirth, good time to make positive changes and get rid of bad habits and negative thinking. So keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for the energies that you may or may not encounter, Virgo. So, as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this particular reading: a fiery climax approaches. All right, let's see what the Virgo collective has going on. I think Leo might have had that same exact card in their overall as well. So if you are a cross watcher, if you have a Leo around you, close to you, you may want to watch that reading as well. Let's see what they're going through and how it affects you or each other, right? All right. My nice, fun, friendly reminder this week as I'm shuffling these cards, Virgo, is that you get out in nature this week. Take a walk in the woods, find a beautiful park or an area, a nice meadow, just a lovely area somewhere that or don't know, maybe explore, but find a nice place in nature to just get out there and really stop and connect with the miracle of nature. Maybe watch animals, watch birds, maybe feed birds. Um, pick up a plant or look at a tree, just study it deeper, look for the Fibonacci sequence and things, look for, the geometry of nature, which I find completely fascinating. Anyway, find a way to connect with the miracle of nature. That is just my fun, friendly reminder. Some people do this daily, some you just need a little reminding to do that, but get out in nature and just try to connect this week. So, all right, without further ado, let's get into this reading. Virgo, we've got cards coming out already, October 5th through the 11th, and a fiery climax approaches. All right, your overall energy right now is King of Wands. So, sitting in an energy of just really understanding your own passions, the things that really drive you and push you to really enjoy life, and not only understanding your own passions and really being knowledgeable and understanding about them, but also the people around you, kind of like what are those drivers of the people in your kingdom, and you just have a really good overseeing awareness of all of that this week, which is awesome. Your current situation is the Seven of Pentacles, so you might be kind of exploring, those passions while you're kind of waiting for a harvest to come in. You've got seeds planted. These could be financial seeds, of course, and material type seeds that you're waiting to come to fruition, but many times this card can just be other seeds too. There might be emotional seeds that you've planted. There's things that are about to come to harvest for you. So nice energy there. At the root of your situation this week is the Hermit card. So, you might be also doing some sort of inner searching. Of course, we have this fiery climax, so we'll see what happens. There might be something on your mind that you're thinking about as this harvest is coming in, and maybe taking some sort of action. And if it's a fiery climax, it doesn't always have to be, it could just be something inside of you that a thought comes in. I wouldn't be surprised right now to see, maybe like an Ace of Swords pop up for you, that there's some kind of maybe mental breakthrough that you've been working on, or that you will be working on this week with this Hermit card. You're really going within and just looking for your own inner wisdom and really in deep thought about something. In your recent past is the Nine of Pentacles. So, you've definitely been, reaping the rewards, the fruits of your labor, and in a good place there. So, is this financially involved? Maybe materially, definitely. There's some sort of material aspect of something going on here. What's on your mind this week is a partnership here with the Two of Cups. So coming together with someone, to maybe work something out. Maybe there's something on your mind there that has to do with finances and, things that you're passionate about. It could be someone that you're working together with. This could be a friend or a partner, maybe even a romantic partner, that you're just kind of working together to, to work on things and let this harvest come in. But you're definitely having you're going inward about something here. What is just ahead of you this week is some sort of new journey with the Fool card. So as this wraps up, as this harvest, this could be like a work project that's wrapping up. And you're already kind of thinking, what do I want to put my energy into next as you set out on this new journey. And this could be your fiery climax, is that you've got the energy. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised to see that Ace of Swords come up, to have like a breakthrough, like, oh, this is what I need to do. So it looks like you are setting off on a new journey. And this wisdom card is definitely bringing in some sort of wisdom about what the next step you should take. How are you going to leap off here? Off of that cliff. What are you leaping into next? It could be very exciting, right? In your advice position is the Five of Wands here. So this could be maybe that fiery climax, is that maybe there are some words exchange, or I'm sorry, Five of Swords. This could be that fiery climax of, you know, um, this is kind of winning, but sometimes through deceit or underhanded tactics, right? That's how we're taught as tarot readings. As readers, to read this card, I like to look at this card too, because it's sword energy of, kind of words that are messages and words that are being thrown. So, did you say some things this week and not give all your information? This guy's holding on to a few of those swords. Did you say a few things and maybe not put everything on the table? Are you holding some information back? Did you say something that maybe hurt the feelings of someone around you? Maybe this partner, it could be someone else, but and because this is in your advice position, it's to maybe you say what you need to say, but hold back a little bit. Maybe there's some things that you don't need to be so upfront about, right? That you just maybe need to hold some information back. That's in your advice position. What is beyond your control is that you're feeling a little bit stuck. So yeah, I do feel like, again, this your overall set of fiery climax approaches, and it does seem to be driven by words. Who it's directed at, I'm not really sure yet. We've got a lot of pentacles on the table and a partnership here. This could be a friend, this could be a work partnership, this could be, again, a romantic partnership, but there's someone on your mind there, and I still don't even feel like it's directed at that person. This might just be like a support person that's there to support you through this, more than it's directed at that person, if that makes sense. That's kind of coming through. So what is your secret desire, and what you're trying to avoid is the Six of Pentacles. So are you trying to avoid giving or receiving, or is it your secret desire to give or to receive? That's a lot of information going on. I usually ask people when this card pops up, what's going on here? And I almost get the giving sense. Usually I would ask you, but I'm just feeling pulled to say that this is about giving this week. Is it your secret desire to be giving or to help someone out this week, or are you trying to avoid that? Sometimes helping is great, but sometimes helping can also be enabling. And so and sometimes that could be a very hard line to draw. If any of you are parents, you understand that, always helping is not the best thing to do. Sometimes you need to watch your kids struggle a little bit and let them struggle, just so they can overcome something, and feel that joy of of overcoming and getting something, right on their own, without your help. So that's kind of that, are you feeling that somewhere? And I'm not even saying this is with your kids. I'm just saying that's the example that I'm using for when it's good to give, and then sometimes it's just not good to give when there's that line of enabling there. So that'll be your big question of the week. In your outcome position is the Tower moment. So here comes your fiery climax. And is it over, this giving or not giving? Could be. It could be. It could be, for different people. You may need to read the situation in your own, tarot is a template. But I do kind of get the feeling here that there is either money or a material thing that is involved here, but you're also off on this new journey. But your advice is to kind of hold your ground, say the things that need to be said, and maybe don't say too much. You're definitely going to feel a little bit stuck in this situation. That's probably why you're going to be in this hermit mode, because you really want to do the right thing. I feel that, you want to go in and you're asking yourself and you're asking for that kind of inner wisdom. How do I do the right thing here? Let's see what's hidden from you this week at the bottom of the deck. Okay, would be the Chariot card. So, this is about movement and making a big move when it's the Chariot card, and you're not quite doing that this week. So this situation may not even wrap up this week, but I do feel like it's materially, it's something about around material, and like I said, it could be money that you need to ask yourself, is it a good thing to be giving, or should I hold back? Either one of those answers is probably going to lead to this tower. I think things just need to blow up and get to where they're going to be. They're going to settle down, but you're going to be, and this is, you're going to be off on a new journey, but I feel like this is a new way of being. This might be something that's been going on in your life and it's repeated over and over and until you're kind of done. You feel stuck, but you're kind of done. And then the doneness leads to this new journey, this new way of being. So definitely take the time this week to go within, really think really hard about this situation, kind of evaluate it. Even if you have to, pull out a piece of paper and write down, things that you remember, pros, cons, what's going on with the situation. It sounds like it could be, something kind of tough to go through. And I do think it is about, should you help this person or not help this person? If that makes sense, it will to some of you. So if it does to you, drop me a comment down below. Let me know what's going on. And I do wish you, of course, the best of luck with this situation. It seems like a tough one. All right. Soul Oracle deck says for you, don't push the envelope. Okay. So don't push the envelope when it comes to whatever. And this might be this might be this I keep saying wands, 5 of swords. I don't know why I'm being drawn to say wands every time, but wands is also about conflict and kind of the same energy. But when it comes to not pushing the envelope, it makes me think of this card about, like I said, sword energy, that you need to say what needs to be said, but maybe some things you need to hold back and not say, like, and almost like say the things that are pertinent to the situation, but don't add fuel to the fire by saying things that may be true but aren't pertinent to this particular situation. Does that make sense? Like, don't bring up if you're arguing or defending something, don't bring up something from the past that's completely unrelated to this situation. Like, don't push the envelope. Just say the things that need to be said. Does that make sense? All right, Virgo, let's see what you need to do in the way of self-care this week. As you're going through this seems like a little bit of a, like one of those kind of grit in my teeth week, like, oh, but you will get through it. This too shall pass, like everything else. All right. Your self-care is the card that comes up, says body. Your body deserves your love. All right. So, and take care of you when you're in this hermit mode and when you've got all this stuff going around. And that's true. Don't forget to don't get so distracted that you forget to, take a bubble bath and relax, to eat well, to exercise, to do those things that you do to take care of yourself every day, because sometimes life just gets in the way and you turn around and you think, oh, did I eat yesterday? What's going on? So, make sure you are taking care of yourself as you're going through this, because it does seem to be a little bit mentally taxing. But you'll get through it. It's a tower, it's a disruption in your life, whatever this is going on. But you'll get through it. You'll get through it, and next week's another week, and I'm sure things will get better. So after this, whatever this fiery climax, remember we do have that full moon energy. So, try to, just keep that in mind. Keep those energy. Everybody's energies are up. Everybody's emotions are up. It's just a time of heightened emotion. So sometimes that's what happens during a full moon. Just keep yourself safe. And again, next week is another week, right? So Virgo, thank you so much for being here with me. I do hope there was something in this reading that you can take away and use in your week. I do wish you the best of luck with this. It seems like kind of a tough situation that you're going to be in, and but you'll get through it, right? And come back next week and let's see if this energy has changed. Let's see what happens on this new journey that you're on. It seems like if there's been some sort of change of mind, change of heart, change of a way of doing things, that that's just how life is. You learn, and, we live and we learn and we go on and we do better the next time. So anyway, I do wish you the best of luck. If you like my reading style, please like and subscribe, because it really helps my channel. But most importantly, it'll help you find me next week and come back and let's see where this story goes. I'm curious to know myself. So thanks so much, Virgo. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.